I just made a post on Facebook about believing in myself and believing in other people's stories and their perspectives. So I'm following through right now and continuing to make videos myself. And I've had this one in my mind since I did a deep dive into myself in looking at old journals, old diaries. Oh my gosh. Let me just show you a little pile of diaries I have here. So, it's still recording. Smooth move, X-Lex. So that was totally worth it. So here's a stack of journals that I've written. Um, I started when I was a little kid. I was like 11 or something, so 1996. I was looking in one of the books and I came across the time when I had written a poem about the Holocaust, and my writing teacher had, I guess, recommended it to somebody who's in charge of the Holocaust Remembrance Assembly that we had. And they asked if I would be willing to read my poem in front of the whole school at this assembly. And I was so nervous and excited and honored to be a part of it. And my dad came and he was super proud of me. And I tried to find it. Sadly, I can't find the poem, but I have some of it memorized. Never forget, their wailing voices need to be heard, of the people who suffered, were tortured, and brutally murdered. You have to care, you have to cry. Millions of God's children were murdered, and there's no good reason why. Unfortunately, those are the only two phrases from the poem that I can conjure out of my brain, but that's that. I don't remember. I don't remember. It was 20 years ago. It's not, the point isn't like, oh wow, go me, I wrote a poem. But the fact that I never thought in my lifetime, in any lifetime, that it would be so relevant to what's going on now. The fact that there are camps currently now, and learning that there actually were camps in America. I read a lot as a kid. They didn't teach us so much of this stuff. I read a lot. And I remember being so shocked reading about Japanese internment camps. That Japanese American citizens were just shuffled away. It's a sordid history of America, but I probably don't have to tell you watching this that. Okay, I'm getting all blah 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 blah. Let me look at my notes. So, when I was little, I think maybe third or fourth grade, my teacher introduced us to the book Number the Stars. And that landed so deep in my heart. Like, it stuck with me when a girl is helping hide a Jewish girl in her house. And there's a moment where she rips off her Star of David necklace and is just holding it clenched so tight in her hand. And when it's finally safe, she's got this imprint of the star in her hand. When I was a young adult and traveling around Europe, I visited Dachau a few times, a work camp where there's the sign that says Arbeit macht frei. Work makes free. This lie that people were told that if you work, you'll be able to be free. I didn't believe in ghosts to that point, but I could feel the oppressiveness, the weight of the evil that had been done there. I could feel it as I walked around. And the lady who was the leader of the team that I was on, she took so many pictures. It was like a healing thing for her to, and a way to kind of protect her mental health of having this space between her and the camera and the reality of all the things there. And one of the pictures that's up there is a picture where American soldiers were forcing, just like, look at this, to Germans that lived in the area to see this was happening in your backyard. You have to see this. You have to acknowledge this. I read so many books as a kid. The Devil's Arithmetic was one, where this girl, when they're doing this Seder dinner, I think it is. I don't know. I don't know a lot of Jewish stuff, but when there's this part of the dinner where you open the door to symbolically let Moses in, when she opens it, she's transported back in time and she's living through it all. She's being loaded up and rounded up to take into a camp. And I recently read a really fascinating post on Facebook by the granddaughter of Captain Von Trapp of the Sound of Music fame, Von Trapp family singers, and how Dachau is the camp that they would have been taken to if they'd been caught. Like, whoa! I never thought that this poem that I wrote in high school, never forget, their wailing voices need to be heard, that it would be so relevant to what's happening with the camps in America now. And that there are people who call themselves followers of Jesus, who wear merchandise of camps, where people are treated completely inhumanely, where people are being American citizens, or people who have done everything they possibly could do to have their paperwork in order, are just taken there, just taken to El Salvador, just kidnapped by these disgusting ICE Gestapo agents who kidnap people. How can this be happening in America now in 2025? It's not so far from now that it's going to be where the Nuremberg is going to happen. The Nuremberg trials are going to happen to the cowards that are stealing people now. I visited Nuremberg too, and it was amazing to see that there was a person who had designed the benches for the people in their trials to sit on to be as uncomfortable as possible. These people that had been used to such decadence and luxury in their life, sitting on these hard, awkward benches. But there's going to be times when the people, and I hope it comes sooner than later, when the people who are living in the vicinity of camps are forced to look at what's been going on. Forced to see how humans are being treated. We just gotta keep fighting. We've got to believe that that the truth is going to win out. Keep hoping. Keep exposing evil whenever you can. Don't give in to fascism. Don't give in to hopelessness. Okay, I do want to end on a lighter note. Some awesome videos that I've seen is this guy. He finds guys, Mexican guys who are looking for jobs, and that's a dangerous place to be in some parts of the world where they're just rounded up, never heard from again. But he's like, do you guys need some work? And he pays them. He's like, okay, we're gonna clean up a park. And then he takes them to an amusement park, and all these guys that had just been ready to do hard manual labor, or just having the time of their lives on roller coasters. And oh man, and then he gives them even more money than he said he would after bringing them home, bringing them back to where he picked them up. And the people are so thankful, and it's like, this money's really gonna help my family. I also really love the videos of people just not letting ice sleep, not letting them get comfortable, just banging, making all the noise that they can. I think I probably said that in my last video, where I just was sitting here bearing my heart and feeling the feelings and just wanting an outlet, a release for it all. But yeah, there are so many ways to fight that make the most sense for us, that and sometimes the way that we fight is those of us with small children, we love them and we teach them that people deserve to be treated as people. It doesn't matter what they look like or what paperwork they hold. That there is fighting, there is resistance in making art and making beauty. And yeah, there are things we can do. And if we don't have ideas, we can ask others for ideas. We can see what team we can join in encouragement and in resistance, in making beauty, in making a world that's worth standing up for, and showing people that we see them and we see their value, inherent value. So I wanted to make a video. I wanted to take some moments to feel a little purpose, feel a little meaning, and share my heart. And thank you for listening and being here. Hugs. There was something else I wanted to say. So as you may know, I have a podcast, the Epic Kate podcast, and I've had all kinds of conversations over there. And I've had, back in like 2021, I did a lot more of these kind of conversations of kind of diving into history, because I was making videos. I made like 4 or 5 videos with this awesome lady who's a teacher, and she was really helping me to learn about like the Black history that I wasn't taught in school. Miss Andrea, I'd love to connect with her again. I reached out to another person that I saw on Facebook that is very knowledgeable about history, the history that I wasn't taught in my propaganda schooling. So if you watching this are or know of someone who knows the history that is trying to be suppressed, let me know, because I want to be a venue. I want to be a channel for the truth of history to come out, so we can learn from it, so it won't get lost. The more that it's recorded, the more it's reproduced, the more it can survive. And I want to plug an old friend, David Hoffman. I haven't, had any energy to like watch like anybody's YouTube videos for a while now, but I still hold him in the highest regard, and he has been plugging away. He's in his 80s, and he is putting real, true history out there. Interviews that he's had. He made a documentary in the 90s about the 60s and all the changes there, and how just so many facets of the history that he lived through, the people that he spoke to. I'm not doing a good job of saying you should check him out, but hopefully someone that hasn't checked him out before will check him out from this. David Hoffman. I will put his link down below, and reach out to me if you want to talk history. If you're knowledgeable and passionate and want to have a conversation, I want to learn, and I want to put these conversations out there. I also would really love to have more queer history conversations, because that is something very important to my heart. My LGBTQ family and friends out there. Yes. Okay, that's all.